Well, ladies and gentlemen, in the Jim Norick Arena, we're going to get started here in just a couple minutes with our Belted Galloway and Junior Braford shows. Over here in Ring 2, we're going to get started with your Junior Braford female show. Your first class in the ring will be early spring heifer calves born March of 22. This will also be your first division. And over here in the Belted Galloway ring, we are getting started. Well, again, over here in Ring 1, we're going to get started with your Junior Belted Galloway show. Your first class in the ring will be Summer Heifer Calves. We'll have one entry in this class.
It's a great way to start our Junior Braford show here today. Young lady brings out one that's really highly fit. You really appreciate how long fronted this thing is and how she sets up out of her chest and comes out of the top of her shoulder. This thing's really flat hipped and comes out of a really good leg and pastern. Probably not the stoutest one on earth, but has enough shape to her to get around. If I could get extra critical on her, I'd like to open her up a little bit more in her rib cage, but I still think that's a great one to get started with.
Well, congratulations over here in Ring 2. Results out of your first class in first division. Your champion heifer calf. We'll go to Madison Mize with RCM 7144 Willow 2686. We'll now look to see your next class and division. This will be Class 9 senior heifer calves born August to September of 21. We'd like to welcome your judge today over here in Ring 2, Mr. Colby Cummings of Batesville, Arkansas. And our judge back over in Ring 1, Miss Kate Schaefer.
Young man brings us out a really stout cow prospect. You really appreciate just how big hip she is. Comes out of a really big foot and gets out and gets on the move. To get a little bit critical on this one, she's a little past her prime in her condition. But I think from a breeding and maternal standpoint, I think that thing has got a tremendous future to be a cow for this young man later on. Let's give him a round of applause.
Well, congratulations in our second division over here in your Braford show. Your champion fall heifer calf going to Russell Stanton with SR Miss Brown Eyes 2110. We'll now look to start your next class. This will be Class 13, late spring yearling heifers, born April of 21. There will be one entry in this class. Following this class, we'll look for Class 15. And currently in the Belty ring, we are waiting to get started with your junior heifer show. We'll be looking for Class 1 summer heifer calves.
Young lady brings a really long spine, long fronted female out here that wants to get out and move exceptionally well. I really like how this thing is designed in her lines. I really like how feminine fronted she is and how nice chested she is. Her length of body in a way kind of works against her disadvantage to an extent because it doesn't look like she's as deep-bodied, but she still has a ton of room and capacity in her for as long spined as she is. I think this one will look really good coming back out here later.
Well, congratulations. First place in that class exhibited by Meg Boudreau with LSN Miss Rosetta 2101. We're now going to bring in Class 15. These will be junior yearling heifers.
Nice single entry over here on the belted Galloway side. And this lady brings out a nice July heifer calf who I think has a lot of future. That's one that you get on the side of her and she balances up fairly well. She's really long and extended through that front end. Very youthful and attractive. Balances up well. That one could be a little bit boulder sprung, I think, when you get and look at her. But when you consider her age and know that she's a July, those are things that could come. When that one gets out on the move, it's hard to tell how she handles her rear wheels. She's wanting to fight the halter so bad. Every once in a while, she looks a little bit stiffer there in her rear pastern, but I think a lot of that just has to do with her fighting the halter. Really nice single entry. It'll be good to see her out here in the Grand Drive.
Well, and congratulations over here in the Belted Galloway ring. And a correction, this is our open show. First place in Class 1 will go to Terry and Julie Willis, my apologies. We're going to bring in Class 2. These will be late spring heifer calves.
Another one out here on this Braford side. You just appreciate these things for how much power they have and how much length of spine and how much shape this heifer has. She's really big-footed and comes out and takes a really good step. She's really big bone. These are the kind that can go out and make some really nice bulls for some people and go on and have a longevity in their cow herd as well. If I could change this one up, I might make her a little bit more feminine through her front end. She wants to get a little bit more rounder out of her neck and a little bit rounder in her shoulder. But I think when you have one with that much shape and that much power, naturally you're going to have a little bit of shoulder to her still. That's a nice heifer.
Well, congratulations over here in your Braford ring. First place in Class 15 will go to Clancy Joe Hebert with CM Tailor-Made Miss Harper 2101. We'll now bring those two first places in. Select Champion Reserve Yearling Heifer.
Another nice single entry over here on the belted Galloway side. And when this heifer finally stops, she's been fighting the halter awfully hard, but when she finally stops, she can give you a pretty good look. One that's attractive and extended up through that front end. One that you questioned when she was moving around the ring, how well she moved, but when she's standing still, she looks built fairly nice. Probably if I were to change anything else about her, I'd like to just give her a little more there in her flank, just to make her a little deeper there, maybe stouten her up from behind and pick her up there in her pin set. But I think that's an awfully nice kind of female. It'll be fun to see her out here in this Grand Drive.
Well, congratulations in Class 2. First place was exhibited by Carla and Dean Denton. We'll now look to see Class 3. These will be early spring heifer calves.
Let's give these two young ladies a round of applause out here in division. As I talked these two earlier in class, you know, there's two contrasting types and kinds standing out here. You got one that's a little bit more flatter and more refined in how she's made and how she gets around the ring. Then you got a lot more powerful, bigger footed, more of your what I would call your commercial-minded maternal female. There's a lot of types. You know, you could go either way depending on what you wanted to do. For me today, I'm going to go with the young lady out of the first class. Thank you.
And congratulations over here in your junior Braford ring, your champion yearling heifer exhibited by Meg Boudreau, and reserve will go to Clancy Joe Abier. We're now going to bring in Class 19. These will be early senior yearling females.
Young lady brings a pair out here that is a testament of what a Braford can do. She told me that calf is just a July. She's certainly doing her job. When you evaluate the cow, she's still in pretty good shape to have that big of a calf on her side. She's really big-footed and big-legged. I really wish get some of that baby fat off of her and kind of trim down her neck a little bit. The only thing that's concerning to me is one of those quarters. Looks like that might be out of whack. From the calf perspective, this thing's got a ton of grow on it, big-legged, big-footed, big old hip in it. I think that thing's going to be really nice later on down the road.
Well, congratulations over here in the Braford ring. Your senior champion yearling will go to Clancy Joe Bear with NPHFO Miss Macho Grande. We're now going to bring in all of your division champion and reserves and select a grand and reserve grand champion Braford female.
Nice class over here on the belted Galloway side, and I think we have an exceptionally high quality one that starts the class. That one is highly presented, but past that, that's still a really nice female, one that balances up very, very well from this side. I think that one is attractive in the way that her neck ties into her. She deep-bodied, big-centered kind of a female. Is plenty stout when you get in behind her. If you want to be ultra critical of this one, when you get in behind her, I think that one's plenty stout-hipped and got some stuff to her, but she does close up a little bit there at her base. I'd like to see her a little wider based. But a young calf and a really nice individual. Love the center body in that heifer. The female that's going to come out next is another nice individual. She's fighting the halter a little, but I think that's a really sound, well-built kind of a heifer. I think she's got a lot of flexibility when she gets out and goes. Another one that she's deep, but probably just gives up some power and some dimension to the class winner. Nice kind of heifer there.
Well, congratulations over here in the belted Galloway ring. First place in Class 3 will go to Maddie TB with Sunnybrook Rita. And second place will go to Carla and Dean Denton. We'll now look to see your final class in our Junior Heifer Calf division. This will be Class 4.
Another nice single entry over here on the belted Galloway side. The heifer again is being a little ornery and wanting to fight the halter, but the young lady's doing a nice job working with her and getting her set up. And when the young lady gets her set up, that heifer can give you a fairly nice look. It's one that's really long and extended, and you got to appreciate that about her. You get in behind that one, and she's bold. I think that one's big-footed, stout-featured in terms of having a lot of bone, but still being pretty flat about her joints and smooth in her build. You know, if you're going to change that one when she gets in motion, that one is pushing out of her front end a little bit there. I'd like to relax her just a little in the angle of her shoulder, and maybe just in terms of balance, to give her a little more depth of center body. Really nice single entry, though, and the young lady's doing a good job.
Well, congratulations over here in the belted Galloway ring. Out of your final class in that division, first place junior heifer calf will go to Elsa Sewell. We're now going to bring those first and seconds in. Select champion reserve junior heifer calf.
Let's give our junior Braford kids over here a round of applause for the great set they brought out. I have a quote that's in our barn that we try to live by with what we do, and it says anything that gets your blood racing is probably worth doing. It's by Hunter S. Thompson, and that's right in when you walk in. It's right on our wash rack, and it's something I try to instill to our son every day. We absolutely love this industry. We love everything about it. We love the people and all the concepts that it teaches these youth. I know that there's been a lot of times you'll go to a show and everyone tells you guys to, be sure and thank your parents, and that goes without saying. I want you guys to thank your parents for bringing you these things, grandparents and everything else. I think there's a group of guys that sometimes gets overlooked, and it can be just as big a moment for them as what it can be for the exhibitors, and that's the breeders of these cattle. There are guys who will be in this business their entire life who will try to sell and promote and will never have a chance to have one on this stage. So with that being said, it's just a big an honor for these guys that have bred and raised on these things and made these mating decisions for years, quote unquote, even decades or generations of a family that do this. So with that being said, I want you guys to thank those people as well. I think I'm fairly easy to follow. I'm one that all this starts at the ground and works their way up. I think without structural integrity and soundness, the rest of it really doesn't matter. I don't care if they can take a pretty picture or not. If they can't move, they can't move. The type of females that need to go on in this registered business and make commercial bulls and replacement females for the commercial guys out there are those that we need to lean towards. Again, I appreciate it. I'll keep my remarks short. I'll go get you guys a Grand and Reserve. Thanks for having me out here today.
Well, congratulations, grand champion Braford female here in our junior show at the Cattlemen's Congress. Goes to Madison Mize with RCM 7144 Willow 2686. And congratulations, your reserve champion will go to Meg Boudreau with LSN Miss Rosetta 2101. Congratulations to those junior exhibitors. We'll now look to get started with your junior Braford Bull Show.
Back over here on the Belted Galloway side, a really nice group of heifers here to start this division. The July that came out of that first class is a heifer that's got some performance and some look. One that I thought balances up really well from this side. You get her out here and you'd like to maybe change the construction of that one's rear wheels. She doesn't handle her pastern quite as well as I'd like her to, but that heifer's got a lot of really neat pieces. Probably one that's still sound enough when you get her in motion. This heifer that comes in behind her, this more mousy colored heifer here, one that's really good in terms of her skeleton and her build. A heifer to me probably that's giving up some performance and some volume when you study the heifers on either side of her. But I think that one's got a bright future. She's a little green out here, but a really good individual. And then that heifer that comes out of this third class here, just a really, really nice kind of female. Gives you a high quality look when you get off of her from the side. But it still has plenty to her when you get in behind her. One that certainly has a lot of presence out here. And then the young lady's female out here that came out of that last class. We talked about how liking her length and extension. I think that's probably one of the heavier muscled females out here. Probably to me today just as poor in terms of her balance. She needs a little more depth of body there. I'd like to change her out of her front end, just how she gets out and goes. But a really nice group of heifers. I'll select your Grand and Reserve in this division.
Young lady brings out a dark brindle bull that you really appreciate for his length of spine and how big-footed he is. You really like how up-headed he is and how well he gets around the ring and moves. If I could change him up a little bit, I think he's still a little bit skinny and might want to open him up and make him a little bit more stouter, but I think that's still getting pretty picky on a nice one.
Well, congratulations over here in the Belted Galloway ring. Your champion junior heifer calf coming out of Class 3. Congratulations to Maddie TB, and reserve champion will go to Terry and Julie Willis. We'll now look to get started with your next division. The class in the ring should be Class 5 winter heifer calves. Back over in our junior Braford ring, we have gotten started with your Braford bulls. First place in Class 27 and your bull calf champion. We go to Meg Boudreau with EK Mr. Bubblicious 0222. Now in the ring is Class 38. These are junior yearling bulls.
Young lady brings out a 2-year-old that you just absolutely fall in love with from the time he hits the ring. He's really stout. He's really long-bodied, comes out of a great big foot and gets around with ease for as big as he is. I really like this guy a lot. I think for as much look as he has, and he's still awful powerful, I think that one can go out and turn some heads. I really appreciate her bringing that one out here. I think he's in the perfect condition. He gets around the ring with ease. Like I said before, I love how this thing moves out of his hock. I love how much shape he has down low and how much capacity he has up top and as far down when you really start studying him in his sheath, how it sets in just right and it's not too long. I think this one's going to be awful well to look at out and drive.
Nice single entry out here, and the young lady brings a nice November heifer calf out in this class. Female to me that's like really deep centered and gets around the ring with plenty of flex and ease. I think that one balance is fairly nice when you get off of her from the side. When you get in behind this heifer, I'd probably like to power her up some. Heifer wants to hawk in just a little from behind, but a really nice single entry. It'll be good to see her out in the grand drive.
Well, congratulations back over in the Braford ring. Your champion yearling bull was exhibited by Briley Baroque with K4 Mr. Rhea 121. We now have both those bulls back in the ring. Our judge is going to select his champion and reserve champion, Braford bull, here in your junior show. Back over in the belt T ring, results out of Class 5. First place was exhibited by Terry and Julie Willis.
There's only 2 bulls out here, but let's give these 2 young ladies a round of applause for bringing 2 nice ones. As I talked to them before, I think everyone kind of knows where my mind's leading. There's just one that kind of sets itself apart out here, and it's almost to the point of it's like bringing a gun to a fist fight. But I think there's one out here that really sets itself apart just from the fact of he's as old as he is and still gets around the ring and still has that look about him. Young lady, you'll be champion today. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations, your grand champion Braford bull here in our junior show goes to Briley Baroque with K4 Mr. Rhea 121, and reserve champion will go to Meg Boudreau with EK Mr. Bubblicious 0222. Again, congratulations to our junior Braford exhibitors. Special thank you to our judge, Mr. Colby Cummings.
Another nice single entry over here on the belted Galloway side, and the young man brings out a really extended, very feminine kind of female. I think that one's very extended from her shoulder forward and there from there back. One that's good in terms of her build. When you get in behind her, this one too, I'd like to see her powered up. She's just a little too flat in terms of the shape of her muscle. Wants to hawk in some from behind, and I'd sure change that about her, just square her up back there. But deep-bodied, big-bodied female, I think there's a lot of good to her, and she balances up fairly well from the side. When he gets her in motion, that's one. He probably wants to get a little ever so pinched in her loin, but that's being pretty nitpicky. A nice female.
Well, congratulations in Class 8. Your summer yearling heifer class, first place, exhibited by Carly and Dean Denton. We'll now bring in your final class in this division and final class in our heifer show. This will be Class 10, spring yearling heifer calves.
Nice March heifer over here on the belted Galloway side. And when this female walked in the ring, what came to mind was that she's just really broody, really bold, and really cowy looking. That's just a pretty massive female when she walks in here, and I like that about her. You know, if you want to be really picky, you just like look at that female over here on the profile, and maybe you can say that one's got a little more front end in her compared to some of those Kevs that came in the ring. That's also a big, heavy bred female. Who's getting out here and getting and going relatively good. I think that front end just comes with a little extra power, and I don't mind that. Really nice female the young lady brings out here.
Well, congratulations in Class 10, first place to go to Maddie Tebby with Sunnybrook Rebel. We're now going to bring those first and seconds in, and we'll select a champion reserve junior yearling heifer. After this division, we are going to go into your grand drive here for our belted Galloway females. Following that, we'll go into your cow-calf division. Well, over here in the Braford ring, we're about ready to get started with our open show. We are going to start with females. We'll be looking for Class 1 summer heifer calves born May 1st of 2022 and after. Correction over here in ring 2, we are going to start in your bull show with the Brafords. We'll be starting with Class 24. These will be summer bull calves.
Over here on the belted Galloway side, a really nice division, and there's a pretty big age spread in there. We have a November to a March. But I think as you study these cattle, and with that much age spread, you just got to study them for what they are. And that heifer that comes out of that first class is one that is really nice, I think, very sound, is probably flexible and as good on the move as any of them out here. Today, this one's probably one that I'd like to see a little more powerful from behind. That's one that I mentioned earlier in class that she hawks in, and I like to square her up. But I think that female's got a bright future. She's very fresh in terms of her condition. I think there's a long road to go for that female. The heifer that comes out of that next class, when you get her out here, she probably just looks a little bit plainer when compared to the females on either side of her. Doesn't balance up quite as well. One to me that's just a little bit straighter out of her front end. I said that one pinches in her loin when she gets on the move. But again, that one's really long and extended, and I like that about her. And it's just a nice kind of female there. And then that heifer, that March heifer that comes out here, she is the oldest female in this group, and she is very massive. And I don't think it's just because of age that she has that added mass. So that's a really big-bodied, bold-centered female. I like that about her. We said that she could be a little bit more attractive there up through her front end, but, I'm okay with it because it comes with that added power and body. I think that one's awfully nice. She's going to be your champion, and then the female out of that first class that November will be reserve.
Well, over here in the Braford ring, we are having a picture break before we get started with your open show. In your junior yearling division over here in the Belted Galloway show, congratulations go to Maddie Debbie with Sunnybrook Rebel. And reserve champion will come out of Class 5. Congratulations. We'll go to Terry and Julie Willis with Sunnybrook Claire. We'll now look to get started with your grand drive here in our Belted Galloway show. We'll bring in your division champion and reserves, and our judge will select your champion reserve females.
Give these exhibitors on the Belted Galloway side a big round of applause. And these exhibitors brought out a really nice group of cattle. There weren't a lot of numbers, but there certainly was some quality throughout the show, and some things that you could really appreciate about this breed. A lot of really nice bodied females, but the two we have out here, I think it just kind of separated themselves rather easily to me. That heifer that came out of that first division, that's just a really high quality calf. That thing is sharp and attractive and sleek up through that front end. And from there back, she's still got some power and some dimension. She's bold, and that's just a nice female, fresh in her condition, has a really, really bright future. I really like the way that one balances up from the side. And then you got a big, broody, massive, heavy bred March there that came out of that last division. One that could probably be a little more attractive up through that front end, but certainly just a really bold, big, high capacity kind of female. There's some give and some take between the two. I just think when you get them on the move and you study them, the calf is a little more comfortable today. I think the calf balances up a little bit better from the side for me today. The female out of Division 1 will be your champion, and then I'm going to go ahead and use the big March bred as reserve.
Well, congratulations in our Belted Galloway show. Your grand champion female goes to Maddie Temby with Sunnybrook Rita, and reserve champion, and congratulations will also go to Maddie Temby with Sunnybrook Rebel. Again, congratulations to all of our female exhibitors. We'll now look to start your cow-calf pairs. We'll have 2 entries in this division.
Couple of really nice pairs out here in this pair division. The pair that's came in the ring first is one that's raising a really nice heifer calf on the side of her. We just evaluated that heifer she came through in that first division. And that was one that I think had a lot of look. That calf's doing a good job. That cow's doing a good job with that calf. Now the cow's kind of milking down a little. She's not carrying as much condition, not in quite as good rig as the cow that comes out here, that's out here next to her. But a cow that you look at her and she's really attractive out of that front end. One that's probably just giving up a little bit of mass out here. That cow that's standing out here next, that's standing behind her, or just a really big-footed, big-boned, massively constructed cow. I like that about her. She's holding her condition really well. You got to appreciate that. She's raising a nice bull calf on her side. Both cows, I think in terms of udder, they both look like they could be milking a little harder, but you kind of wonder if those calves haven't stripped their udders out before this. But I think they're both doing a nice job. I think that the pair on the left she's going to be your champion. I just like the mass and the dimension. And then the pair up front will be reserve.
Well, congratulations in our cow-calf pair division. Your champion will go to Maddie Tebby with Sunnybrook Java, and second place in reserve champion will go to Terry and Julie Willis with Sunnybrook Brook. We'll now look to start your bull show. We'll bring in Class 16.
Nice single entry over here on the belted Galloway side. And the young lady brings out the August calf that was on the side of that cow. And I think he's a lot like that cow in terms of just being really big-footed, big-boned, and stout-featured. I really like that about him. Good centered. He's just doing really good for an August calf. Maybe if you're going to try to break this calf apart, you wonder if he's going to be quite soft enough there on his pasterns, if he maybe is just a little too rigid. I think today he gets around and moves plenty good. That's being awfully picky. I think that one's still sound, and he's still sound enough. Really nice individual.
Congratulations in our first class of bulls over here in your Belted Galloway show. First place to go to Maddie Tebby with MT Maverick. We're now going to bring in Class 17. This will be early summer bull calves.
A neat single entry over here again on the bull side. And this bull has certainly got some really neat and intriguing pieces. I think that's a bull calf that's got plenty of masculinity and has a lot of look when he's standing there from the side. exceptionally neat up through his front end, really clean in his chest floor, and I think his neck ties in high and neat. You look down over that bull's top, and I think he's like fairly stout topped. And it's just when you get in behind him is where I'd probably like to pull him apart there and square him up and how he handles those hocks. And when you get him in motion, I certainly like to change the way he handles that rear pastern. I think he's fairly uncomfortable with how he sets down there. But past that, really neat individual. I think that thing has a lot of value, a lot of breeding value. So congratulations.
Well, congratulations in Class 17, first place exhibited by Michael and Randy Yort. We'll now bring in Class 18. There will be 2 entries in this class. Well, at this time, we are going to start our Open Braford Bull Show. We'll bring in your first class, Class 24, Summer Bull calves born May 1st and after. Well, we're excited to welcome our judge over here in Ring 2, Mr. Cody Lukirk of Canyon, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, here in Jim Norick, let's put our hands together and welcome our judge in Ring 2.
Good afternoon. Got a good single entry summer bull to get started here in the Braford side. Really like the structure in this guy, big footed, real pliable in the way he gets out here, just a June calf, a real nice single entry. Let's put our hands together for that exhibitor and we'll get on with the show.
Well, congratulations in Class 24, first place to go to David and Diane Owens with DD 1849, Hollywood 210. We'll now look to see Class 27. These will be Junior Bull calves born February of 22.
We got another single entry, April bull calf. This young lady brings us good bull. Brindle has got a lot of shape to him. Really like the shape to his body. Gives you a good look there. A lot of balance and quality in the way he's put together. Real masculine in the way he's brought to us today in terms of his maturity. Sound bull, he kind of has maybe a little extra set to his hock. Maybe could go just a little square off his rear too, but a real nice bull. Let's put our hands together for that young lady.
Well, congratulations in Class 27. First place to go to Meg Boudreau with EK Mr. Bubblicious 0222.
Nice class of bulls over here on the belted Galloway side, and I think it sorts itself fairly easily. The young lady's bull that I'm going to start with, I think not only is he just higher quality and better balance when you get off of him from the side, but that bull handles himself a little better when you set him in motion, just a little more collected on the move, and I appreciate that about him. The young man's bull that comes out here in second is a really extended bull. He's a little bigger framed kind of an animal, higher performing maybe. To me, he's the one that's just a little flatter sided when you get in and you study him in terms of his rib shape. I'd like to see him a little more boulder sprung and pulled apart there. But when you get this bull in motion, I think is really where he starts to sort himself down. I think that bull gets a little more restricted out of his front end and just awkward there on his rear too as well.
Well, congratulations over here in the belted Galloway ring. Results out of Class 18. First place go to Terry and Julie Willis with Sunnybrook Raider. And second place exhibited by Michael and Randy Yort. Now the ring will be your final class in this division. This will be Class 19. Over here in the Braford ring, currently in the ring is Class 28 Early Junior Bull Calves, born January of 22.
Another nice single entry over here. And this bull, certainly when he came in the ring, one of the first things I thought about him is he has a lot of presence. It's a very up-headed bull. His neck ties in high. And then past that, he's one that's, I think, fairly big-bodied, soggy-built kind of a bull. Probably one for me if I'm to change him. I just want to see him a scotch more powerful when you get in behind him. He's one that's just a little bit flatter muscled and a little bit narrower. But still a lot of good in that bull, one that certainly can give you a neat look.
Well, congratulations over here in Ring 1. Results out of Class 19 Junior Bull Calves. First place exhibited by Terry and Julie Willis with Sunnybrook Summit. We're now going to bring those first and seconds into the ring. Our judge will select her champion reserve Junior Bull Calves.
Good set of January bulls over here, and there's some sort down in this class, but the one that wins fast. Good bull. He hits the ring. Just his structure, his power, the way he puts that together is very impressive. Still looks like a bull. He's masculine. He's got some muscle. His prepuce is maybe getting a little lazy today, but he's still clean about his sheath. His build and combination of build and power is very good, and he wins pretty fast. There's some trade-offs in these next three. The bull in second, standing there, maybe reads a little more upright in the angle to his shoulder and his hock, but he gets out and moves good. I'm not going to discount too much on his structure because he's still flexible when he get out on the go, and he's the power bull really of this whole set. I think he's the heaviest muscled one of all four of these. Has quite a bit more just power and masculinity when compared to the ones in third and fourth. He's not as long-hipped. He's just not built with as much quality in my mind when compared to the class winner. There's some trade-offs in these next two. See a little more body, a little more fleshing ability in the bull here in third. Good structured bull. A little frailer today. He's probably just not as mature as those top two. Doesn't have as much power and mass as the top pair. The bull in fourth maybe has a notch more foot and bone than the one right in front of him. But like the shape down his top. Just a little harder, a little shallower today the way he's brought to us. That's a nice class. Let's put our hands together for those exhibitors.
Over here on the belted Galloway side, really nice division, a calf division of bulls, and we'll go through and talk them real quick. The calf that comes out of that first class, just an August calf, but really a big-footed, big-featured bull calf. I think he's big-middled, has a lot of look, and balances really well, and has plenty of power when you get him behind him. I think that calf's got a really bright future. When he gets out and goes, I'd probably like to see him handle that rear pastern just a little bit better, but that's being really picky. The bull in second has the same problem. The bull that came out of that second class really has kind of the same issue in terms of not handling his pastern quite as well. Aside from that, that bull is one that's really neat to look at. I think that bull balances up extremely well. He's masculine, really neat in his chest, long-necked, and it ties in high. Get on top of him earlier, and I said that bull's like got some top in him. Get in behind him. I like to see him a little bit bigger pin. I like to square him up there in those hocks and just relax him in his pastern there just a little bit more. Some of that I know he's got a little extra hair there on top of those pasterns, but still when he gets out and goes, it strikes me as being a problem. And then the bull that came out of that third class, a really nice individual there. He's extended, he's youthful. Again, one that I think is is really nice fronted. To me, is the bull that gets a little bit rounder and tighter there out of his hip, a little bit coarser about his tail head. One that I'd like to see just a little more powerful when you get in behind him. But I do think he is more powerful than the bull that came out of that last class. The bull in the last class, one that was really extended, sound, and I like that about him. One that's pretty up-headed. I think that bull just needs a little more power and a little more muscle. Either a few things you can do in here. I'm going to take another look, and then I'll select your division champion.
Get out here in the calf division drive of the Braford. It's got three different types and kinds, but three good bulls. When they all walk in, they all meet their stride. I think they all have a practical look to them. The oldest bull here is going to be our champion. This one's good. I've not got to evaluate one of y'all's Braford shows before, and I really didn't know what to expect, but I'll be honest, I don't know that I expected to find something looks like this. Big featured, a lot of quality in the way he's put together. He still looks like a bull. He's a real good one. He's going to be your calf champion.
Well, congratulations, your champion bull calf coming out of class 28, going to NPH Brafords with NPH FO King George 21.
We bring in the second place out of that January class, and I picked on this one a little bit in class on his structure, and it's probably not just perfectly correct the way I look at him, but he's a good bull. Like I said, he still meets his stride. He's the other power bull in this division. I think he still puts a lot of quality together, and he's going to be reserved. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations. Back over in the Braford ring, reserve champion bull calf coming out of that same class. Congratulations will also go to NPH Brafords. Back over in the Belta Galloway ring, your champion junior bull calf exhibited by Maddie Tebby with MT Maverick, and reserve champion exhibited by Michael and Randy York. We'll now look to see your final class and division here in your bull show. This is class 21.
Really nice single entry this young lady brings back out here on the Belted Galloway side. She brings like a big, rugged, stout individual. I really like the muscle this bull has. I think he's bold sprung, big topped, and stout hipped when you get in behind him. I think he's got some shape and some dimension. When that bull gets in motion, that's one that's probably not quite filling his tracks. He might be a little bit cumbersome when he gets and goes, but I think that bull probably gets and goes good enough for me today. That's one that I just really like the added dimension that he's got. A really nice bull, young lady.
Well, congratulations over here in the Belted Galloway ring. Your senior champion bull calf goes to Elsa Sewell with Harmony Meadows Nor'easter. We'll now bring those division champion reserves in, select a grand and reserve grand champion Belty Bull.
Over here on the Belted Galloway side, not a lot of bulls, but certainly some nice individuals. And there are some differences between all of the bulls out here. If there's a bull you like better than me, I'm not necessarily going to argue with you. These are just the two that I landed on out here. The great calf we just talked to him, a real nice calf there. I think there's some structural issues between both of these bulls, so maybe that's a wash. But that's one that again, incredible looking from the side when he gets parked. His neck ties into him really neat, and it sets in there good. Wish he had a little more when you got in behind him. That one really kind of gets a little closed up behind. And that's where that black bull has the advantage. That bull is stout and heavy muscled, and I appreciate that about him. One that, too, is a little cumbersome on the move. Probably not quite as deep-sided, but to me, he's plenty deep-sided. He balances up well. I like the added muscularity. I like the masculinity. The young lady's bull, the black bull here is going to be your champion, and then the calf that's the gray calf will be reserved.
Good class of fall bulls over here on the Braford side. And I think this top pair is close. Really, they're just really different in terms of their type and kind. Got some differences in terms of their build. When you put them into motion, the Brindle bull up top is the one that suits me structurally, and that's what we're going to stick with. He's a little longer in his hip, just the set to his hock, the way he moves right there at the ground in terms of his posture is just a little more correct. His skeleton is just a little more organized. Big top bull, certainly has some dimension to him when you get up on him. At first glance, compare these other two, he's a little bigger frame. Maybe wish he had just a shot more bone, maybe a shot more body in relation to his frame, but thick bull that's really good structured, and he wins the class. So there's some trade-off because this bull in second does have more just shape and muscle and dimension to him. He's a little more moderate in his frame. He probably just hits you as one that'll be a little easier keeping, or the daughters will be easier keeping down the road. Put him in motion, you kind of see him there. The way he goes out of his top line and his hip doesn't that's not as organized. Not as flexible as the one that wins, but a nice bull there in second. There were certainly some trade-offs there. Good structured bull in third, big-footed. You get right on top of these three, and he gives up quite a bit of just width and shape and mass to that top pair. That's a nice class. Congratulations to all three of you.
Well, congratulations. Back over here in the Belted Galloway ring, your champion bull was exhibited by Elsa Sewell with Harmony Meadows Nor'easter. And reserve champion will go to our calf champion, Michael and Randy Yort. We'll now bring in our single entry appendix junior heifer calf. Following this class, we are going to go into your steer show. Back over in the Braford ring, results out of Class 31 winter bull calves. First place was exhibited by Stanton Ranch with SR Sensational Thunderstorm. Second place exhibited by Rockcrest Ranch, and third place will also go to Rockcrest Ranch. We'll now look to see Class 32 senior bull calves. This will be your final class in this division.
Really nice single entry appendix female over here, and she'll go ahead and be your champion. But that's a nice individual there. That one is really sleek and attractive there up through her front end. She gets and goes around the ring fairly well with plenty of flex and ease. I know she's fighting the halter. Still call that one sound. One that's probably a little bit frailer, but that's all right. It's a really nice big body kind of female there.
Real nice single entry September fall-born bull in here. I like his frame size. I like how much just body and mass he has in relation to his frame size. Good-footed, good when he gets out on the go. He's not just a crazy stylish one, but he looks like a bull. He balances. He's proportional. Real nice functional bull here. We'll get him back in the champion drive.
Well, congratulations. Back over here in the Belty ring, your champion appendix heifer will go to the Adler family with Rock Creek Dottie. We're now going to bring in your class of club calf steers. There will be 2 entries in this class. Back over in the Braford ring, results out of Class 32. First place went to Rockcrest Ranch with RCM 8459, Mitch 1438. We'll now bring those first and seconds in. Select a champion reserve fall bull calf.
We get out here in the fall calf division drive with bulls here. Two good bulls, and I think it's close. A lot kind of like we talked about in that first class. There's just trade-offs in type and kind and kind of where you want to put your priorities. You really can go either way. The younger bull, like we talked about in class, I think it still holds true out here. Just when you put him into motion and break him down structurally, he is my favorite structurally. Long-hipped, just the angles of his skeleton are right. Just more effortless when he gets out on the go. You get up on him, he honestly kind of surprises me that he still has a lot of width and dimension to him. Big down his top, and certainly has some shape to him. I would picked on him a little in class. Maybe could just give him a shot more foot, shot more bone, and maybe just make him a little more masculine about his head. But he's still big testicled, big bodied bull, and like I said, he's the one that I do prefer the most structurally. The older bull, we just talked about him as a single entry, has more just shape and muscle, especially relative to his frame. Like we kind of talked about in the class with that second place. I think that'll make him a little easier keeping down the line. A little steeper out of his hip. He's not as square there at his hock. You're just not as correct out of his hip and his hind leg when you compare him to the younger, bigger bull up front. So that's the way I see it. That's the trade-offs I see in him. I'm going to stick to the structure and the brindle bull, and he's going to be your champion. Congratulations. We bring in the second place, and I still think this is a close decision. I think all three of these bulls in this division were close. I guess the way I see these, I think the older bull has a shot more power to him. He still has a notch more just presence in the way he's built up there through his shoulder and front end. The older bull's going to be reserved. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations over here in the Braford ring. Your champion fall bull calf will come out of Class 31. Congratulations to Stanton Ranch, and reserve champion coming out of Class 32. Congratulations to Rockcrest Ranch. We'll now bring in Class 37. These will be early spring yearling bulls born March of 21.
Over here in the steer division and the belted Galloway side, a couple of nice individuals here. A lot of similarities between these calves, but a few little differences. I'm going to go ahead and start with the young lady up front in the purple to win the class. To me, it's a steer that's just a little bigger footed, a little heavier featured, one that probably reads a scotch more powerful, especially when you look down his top. Just a nice individual there. The steer that comes out here that's going to be second is a really long extended calf. I think he's really long fronted and neat there about his front end and how his neck ties in. One to me that's just a little bit frailer, giving up a little bit of power to the calf that wins, but a really nice individual. Close class there.
Real good red baldy, I guess coming 2-year-old single entry Braford over here. Love this one when you put him into motion. We're going to talk a lot about their feet and legs and structure, and this one is very, very good structure. Love the size and the shape of his feet, the angles of everything. And no matter if you're walking that one fast or slow, he floats around here. Really good built bull. That's a good bull all the way around. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations back to the belted Galloway ring. Results out of your club calf steer class. First place exhibited by Tommy McGuire, and second place will also go to Tommy McGuire. We're now going to bring in the appendix steer. Following this class, we will bring those club calf steers back in to compete for a grand steer. Back over in the Braford ring, results out of class 37. First place was exhibited by NPH Brafords. We'll now bring in class 38. These will be junior yearling bulls born January to February of 21.
Another nice single entry this young lady brings. It's going to be fun to get these bulls back out here in a division lineup because another quality bull here. A lot of look and presence and quality to his look. Big foot, big back leg. He's good out of his hip and his hind leg. Nice bull. Congratulations.
Nice single entry appendix steer over here on the belted Galloway side. Steer that to me that hits me is one that's very sound and very good on his feet and legs. A calf that's got is really good middled. Probably got enough muscle when you get in behind him and look over his top. One that probably hawks in a little from behind. I'd like to square him up there, but that's being pretty picky. Nice individual. It'll be good to get him out here for your champion steer.
Well, congratulations to Tommy McGuire with his first place appendix steer. We're now going to bring those crossbred steers in, select a grand champion steer. Back over the Braford ring, first place in Class 38 was exhibited by Briley Baroque with K4 Mr. Rhea 121. Our judge is now going to select his champion reserve yearling bulls.
We got two very good 2-year-old, coming 2-year-old Springborn Braford bulls over here in this lineup. I like them both. I think they both bring a lot of quality, I think, to this breed, to this lineup, but they're both a little different in the way they're put together. The one up front, like we talked about him in class, love that one when you put him into motion. Just built very, very good. And any type of livestock or breed you're looking at, that kind of feet and legs and structure goes a long way for me. And it still has some power and some shape to go along with it. Still has some bone. He's clean in his sheath. I think just functionality-wise, practicality-wise, that one's awesome. Still balance is good. He's not as attractive as the bull right behind him, particularly out of his hip. And if I could change him, he could just be a little longer, a little leveler out of his hip. But a bull that has a lot of power and shape to him. He's fresh in his condition, and he's dead on when you put him into motion structurally. Bull in second, still very sound. He's the one, I think if you're just going to take a picture of one, he gives you more look and balance. He is better out of his hip in the way his tail head lays in him, a little more attractively. He's got a stout hind leg, and like I said, hip and hind leg. Certainly there's a lot of quality in the way he's built there. When you get right up on top of the bulls, he is a little flatter in terms of his rib shape and his muscle shape when compared to the bull in front of him. And like I said, this is a sound bull, but he is not just as athletic and as effortless in terms of his structure when you compare him to the younger bull right in front of him. So two really good bulls. That's the trade-offs I see. I love the build of the red baldy up front. He's going to be your champion. The older bull's going to be reserve.
Over here on the belted Galloway side for the champion steer. A couple nice individuals out here, and the calf that wins that first class, sound made, big body kind of steer. I think he's got a bright future. And then that bigger steer that came out of that last division, one that had a little more muscle, I guess, and one that also is really exceptionally good on his feet and legs. It's a bigger framed kind of individual. He's getting up there in frame, I think, but a really nice individual. Some give and take between the two. If you do something different, I'm not going to argue, but I'll select your grand and reserve.
Well, congratulations. Back over here in the Braford ring, your champion in that final division will go to NPH Brafords, and reserve champion will go to Briley Baroque. We're now going to bring in our division champion and reserves, and our judge, Mr. Cody Lukirk, will be selecting his champion reserve, Braford Bull. Well, congratulations. Your champion steer will go to our appendix steer exhibited by Tommy McGuire, and reserve champion also to Tommy McGuire with the club calf steer. Again, congratulations to all of our Belted Galloway exhibitors. Special thank you to our judge, Miss Kate Schaefer.
Well, I tell you what, I really like this lineup of Braford Bulls. All three, I think, got a lot of quality. They fit together really good, and it's been a good show. Not a ton of numbers, but there really wasn't a bad one in this deal, and we're stuck out here with three good ones that certainly have some trade-offs. We started out fast with this bull calf, and like I said in that division, I don't know that I expected to see one with that kind of build and quality today, but certainly glad I did. And we've continued with the quality, but that one brings some real good, unique pieces to the table for a Braford bull, for any kind of a American composite kind of a bull. Huge footed, huge bone, but you put that together with just such a correct structure, that brings a lot of value to the table. Maybe a little later maturing in his look. He's going to be a little bigger framed and maybe not as bold right there in his forerib as really the two older bulls right behind him, if you want to pick on him a little. But that build is elite. That look is good. He's still masculine. Bull still has some power. That's a real good one. The Brindle bull, we talked about him. Another one that's really good structured. Really like the shape that he has right there in the center of his body, out of his spine. Bull that has some body and has some muscle. Picked on him a little in the division. Say maybe like to see him just be a shot stouter in terms of his foot and bone. You compare him to the bulls on either side of him. Probably just a little plainer in his bone work. Kind of takes away from his balance and proportion a little from the side. But good bull there. He's dead level in his top line. Bull that has a lot of shape, is really good structured. Then we have the oldest bull. We just talked about him. And when you put these three in motion, he's your favorite just in terms of his build. Awesome in terms of the quality of his joints and his structure. Awesome in terms of his build. Really clean about his sheath. When you stop him here, he does get a little plainer out of his hip. Maybe just a little plainer in terms of his presence and look from the profile. But functionality-wise and build-wise, I think that one puts a lot of really good things together. Let's put our hands together for these Braford Bulls exhibitors. Been a fun show. Like I said, I think the quality is outstanding. I think we got two really good representatives out here.
Congratulations, your grand champion Braford Bull here at the Cattlemen's Congress goes to NPH Brafords with NPH FO King George 21. And your reserve grand champion, Braford Bull, coming out of our final division. Congratulations to NPH Brafords with SGB Layered Solution J124. Congratulations to those exhibitors. We'll now get started with your open Braford female show. First class in will be Summer Heifer Calves. Well, we're going to bring in Class 1. These will be summer heifer calves, 2 head in this class.
Well, we get started here in the Braford Female Show with a good one. This light yellow baldy hits me real hard when she comes in. The build and the presence she puts together is very impressive. Get behind her. She still has some thickness and has some power to her. Just maternal in her look, but there's a lot of quality in the way she's built. Real fresh in the way she's brought to us today. Heifer in seconds, probably first time from home. It's kind of wanting to fight the halter today, but you got to get on top of this one. She surprises you. She's actually bolder when you study her in terms of the shape out of her top and shape out of her rib when you compare to the class winner. Like the bend to her legs, I think she's real athletic structurally, long up there through her front end, get a little more condition on her. This pair could certainly get close.
Congratulations. And a good way to start out our Braford Female Show. First place, we'll go to Rockcrest Ranch with RCM 9477, Addison 2144. In second place, we'll go to NPH Brafords. We'll now look for your next class. This will be Class 3 early spring heifer calves born March of 22.
Another good pair of Braford females, another real good one that's going to win. That one hits me hard again, and she's presented to a T. I got a little extra hair, but that's not why she wins. Her build is just really, really good. In the size and the shape of her feet in relation to being smooth about her joints, angles of her skeleton are good. She's really almost effortless when you put her out into motion. Really fresh in terms of the shape of her body and the condition she's in today. Real nice heifer that wins this class. Good heifer in second, a little later maturing. She doesn't have as much just body and condition today, but all the parts and pieces are there. Good structured, good in her lines, real feminine up through her front end.
Well, congratulations in Class 3. First place exhibited by Madison Mize. And second place will go to NPH Brafords. We're now going to bring our division in. We do have 2 single entry classes in this division. So we'll bring in the first and seconds out of class 1 and 3. We'll bring our single entries in out of 4 and 5. Our judge will select his champion reserve heifer calves.
We get out here in this the calf champion drive of the Brafords here. We have 2 single entries. Going to talk them first. The first time we're getting to see them. The kind of brockle-faced red and white one here in the third hole. Broody in her look. First glance at that one, you say that's going to be a good cow. Big-bodied, smooth-made, maternal, everything about her. The way it reads just to be very, very maternal. Maybe not as square and stout out of her hip and her hind leg as those 2 heifers right in front of her, but a Cali one that's really good structured. They have kind of a greener January light red heifer here in the fourth hole, but like a lot of parts and pieces of this one, no chest. She's neat-necked and smooth up through her shoulder. Has a nice set to her hind leg, and certainly sound when you get her into motion. She could be just a little wider and square and truer there from hooks to pins. These are 2 good single entries. in my opinion, they're not on the same level as these two we've already seen. These two up front are real good. These two hit me real hard, and it's probably the toughest decision I've had today is going to be going between these two because I think they both have immense quality, and there's some little differences between them. The May calf up front hits you hard out of the gate just in terms of the way she moves. One that has some bone and some substance, but the angles of her skeleton are dead on. Really, really flexible when she gets out on the go and grabs the ground. Heifer that has some shape and has some width. When you get on top of her, you stop her there. She throws her head up and her ears forward. Has some presence and some quality. She's a little younger, just a May calf. Not as bold, not as big centered as the one right behind her. It's kind of the little differences. The red heifer right behind her, I mean, her center and from there back is dead on just in terms of how bold she is, how fresh she is. She's dead level in her lines. She's wide and square out there out of her hip. Her hip and hind leg is very, very good. For one that has a little extra foot size and substance, she's smooth jointed. The length of her hip relative to the angle of her hock is dead on. Put her into motion. She's really good. I think when I compare her to the younger heifer, her front structure is the hole in her. As you kind of see her there, probably not as much angle to her shoulder and her knee. You get in front of her, because she's maybe just a little straight in her shoulder, she gets a little closer at her knee and narrower through her chest floor. But you put her into motion, she moves it good. And really nitpicking a very, very elite Braford female. That's the hole I see in her, and that's the differences in that pair. I think that's an incredible pair of cattle today. The body and freshness, and that one's hip and hind leg, and the heifer at a class 2 hits me a little harder. She's going to be our calf champion. Young heifer's going to be reserved. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations. Your champion will go to Madison Mize with RCM 7144 Willow 2686. Coming out of Class 3 and reserve champion, we'll go to Rockcrest Ranch with RCM 9477 Addison 2144. Congratulations to both those exhibitors. We'll move into your fall heifer calf division. We have 2 single entry classes. We'll bring both of them in for your division.
These were 2 single entry fall-born heifers, so we got a division and 2 good heifers. There's certainly some trade-offs between the two. The kind of black or beige baldy here up front is the fresh, good-looking one of this pair. She's more feminine in the way her shoulder and her head is built. Heifer love the condition she's in, good structured, like the shape she has down her top. You know, your first instinct is I wish she had a notch more foot and bone, but heifer that still has some power, has some dimension. She's definitely the better balanced, fresher one of this pair. Heifer in second just looks like a good brood cow, big-bodied, thick-ended, but she's still smooth and lays that muscle on her skeleton in pretty maternal fashion. My first instinct, she's probably carrying a little more condition than I like, and with that, she's maybe just a little staler in her look, but good structured, big-bodied heifer, doesn't have the balance and the look and presence that the heifer up front does. Heifer up front is going to be your champion. Young man, you can be reserved. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations to champion fall heifer calf exhibited by Dancing Diamond Ranch with DD 514 Kahlua 125, and reserve champion will go to Russell Stanton with SR Miss Brown Eyes 2110. We'll now look to go into your next division. We'll bring in Class 13. These will be late spring yearling heifers born April of 21.
Very good pair of coming 2-year-old heifers here. They both look like they're bred to calve here coming up, and they're good heifers that are real different in terms of their type and kind. And I sorted on the move, and we're going to talk a lot of structure today, and that's what I'm certainly going to lean on. And when you put them into motion, this one today that's going to win is quite a bit more comfortable, quite a bit better in the way she's going out of her hip and her hind leg. And you stop them, stand them still. She's the feminine one that's the freshest and just gives you a ton of balance. Love her body. Her center body is very good. It's bold when you get on top of her and get out here from the side. Has some sweep and depth to her rib. Just the proportion from her chest to her forehead to her flank is very good, very feminine, very balanced, and like I said, structure certainly is what's sorting this pair. Standing still, this one in second's my kind in terms of just her power and her presence. tons of power and shape. She still has a lot of look for one that has some extra bone and muscle. She's smooth in her shoulder. I love that look standing still. So you put her into motion today. There's a lot of concrete around her. She just kind of looks sore, but just not moving quite good enough for me today, coming up quite a bit shorter in terms of her stride. If she can move a little better today, this gets a lot closer. And I'd probably switch it because that's my kindest in terms of her power and her presence today. She's just not getting out and going quite good enough for me. Congratulations. That's a good pair of cattle.
Congratulations. In Class 13, first place will go to Meg Boudreau, and second place will go to Stanton Ranch. We'll now look to see Class 15. These will be junior yearling heifers born January to February of 21.
Ooh, we got a real good 2-year-old January heifer here, kind of Hereford marked one, comes in. A lot of power here. Probably just turned 2 and looks like she's heavy bred, but one that has a lot of power and a lot of presence to go with it. She's good structured. Now hits you with a real elite look as she wins this rather handily. Good heifer in second. She's moderate, good body. Looks like she'll be easy doing. A little coarser about her shoulder when compared to our class winner. Maybe just a little rounder in the way she's built. Doesn't have that as much just presence and balance as the class winner. That's a nice pair. Congratulations to both y'all.
Congratulations. In Class 15, first place will go to Stanton Ranch with SR Miss Lady in Red 2104. In second place will go to Clancy Joe Hebert with CM Taylor Made Miss Harper 2101. We're now going to bring those first and seconds in for your yearling division. Following this division, we'll go into your senior division.
Well, we've had a really good division of spring coming 2-year-old bred heifers out here and got 2 real good ones left in the lineup. Started with the young lady's heifer up front, and we talked about her in class. Really an outlier today of what we've seen just in terms of look and freshness and balance. She does a really good job getting her shown, and that's just a very attractive heifer. Really neat up through her front third. We talked about her in class. The way her bottom line balances is very, very good. Good structure, and you get her out on the go. You compare her to the one right behind her, there's not as much cow there, just not as much foot, not as much bone, not near as much dimension, and probably could stouten her up in a place or two, but a very, very attractive heifer. Like I said, she's an outlier today of anything we've seen just in terms of her look and presence. Then we have the older heifer we just saw in the class. Looks a little heavier bred, got a little more udder development. Love the size and the spacing of the teats, what we can see so far. And I talked about her in class. Where she's good as just her combination of power with some presence, with good structure. She puts a lot of good together. She's going to be our champion. Congratulations.
Congratulations, you champion that division. We do have to select reserves, so we're going to keep that first place in here and bring in the second. Champion that division will go to Stanton Ranch with SR Miss Lady in Red 2104.
We bring in the second place, talked about her in class, practical in her size and kind. She doesn't have the look and presence as the two other ones we've had in this division. The real good looking younger one's going to be reserved. Congratulations.
And congratulations, your reserve champion that division will go to Meg Boudreau with LSN Miss Rosetta 2101. We're now going to go into your final division here in the Braford Female Show. This will be Class 19, early senior yearling females. This will also be your senior division.
Our last division of females out here got a real powerful pair of these two young ladies bring us. Like the moderation of frame to go along with a little extra substance and width and mass that the cow brings to us. Kind of powerful cow. It's still smooth about her shoulder and good about her joints. We could pick on her udder a little bit. Probably like to just kind of change the angle and the size of those teats today, but certainly look functional, and she is raising a good heifer calf. You get to this heifer calf at the side, I like a lot of stuff about her. Big boned and sound made, has some performance to go along with it, really good built. That's a nice pair. Congratulations to both y'all.
Well, congratulations. Your champion senior yearling female goes to Clancy Joe Abear with NPH FO Miss Macho Grande. We're now going to bring in all of your division champion and reserves, and our judge will select his grand and reserve grand champion, Braford female. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here in Jim Norick Arena, let's put our hands together and thank our judge today, Mr. Cody Luchak.
Let me get out here in the champion drive, and but before I talk about the cattle, I'd like to express my gratitude and thanks to this the Cattlemen's Congress show. First time I've got to judge here, but more importantly, 2 years ago was crazy times in the world, but particularly the show cattle world. We didn't know where we were going to be able to show them or anything else, and the way they came together and not just put on a show, but put on, in my opinion, the best run, most organized show I've ever attended. Was very, very impressive, and I'll be forever grateful for the way this still came together, and always will be coming back. Get to the Braford female show. Commercially in the world, a Brahman Hereford female is probably regarded as high as anything, and the hybrid vigor you got in these things is very important to the commercial cattle, but just the functionality and the way y'all built them and made them good is very, very good, and it's why these cattle are highly sought after, not just show cattle, but commercially, and they certainly make money for a lot of people. This is a good heifer show. I'll tell you what I see in each one. That calf, there was a pair of those calves we talked pretty thoroughly because they were real good. This one, the freshness and the build and the look and balance really sets her apart. Anything we've seen today, really good body, really just strong in her lines like we talked in class. The length of her hip relative to the set to her back leg and the power of her back leg is very, very impressive and very elite. Picked on her, could square up a little more off her front feet and lay her shoulder back ever so slightly, but that's a very elite Braford female there out of the calf division. There was a real good one that was reserved behind her. The fall calf, there was just a pair of those, but this one's good, and certainly holds her own out here. Love the condition you brought her in. She's fresh fronted, but still full and bold in the shape to her center body. Heifer, like I said in class, your first instinct is, I wish she's a little stouter bone, but you get on top of her, this thing has a lot of power. Wide and square out of her hip, she's bold down her top, still feminine and neat up through her shoulder. Like all that about her, probably wish she had just a shot more substance to help her balance there from the side, especially when you compare her to those two stout red baldies on either side of her. The big bred heifer we got out here puts a lot of good stuff together. A powerful cow that's still good in terms of her look and good in terms of her structure. Tall fronted one that just looks like a powerful female, like we talked about in class, like the size and the spacing of her teeth, what we can see so far. One that just gives you a lot of power and a lot of presence and a lot of look. And a powerful cow and a powerful calf come out of that last division that we talked about. Probably could kind of freshen up her udder, just like to see it be a little more consistent in its look, but a lot of quality there. I like their power and bone in relation to her frame size. A lot of balance, a lot of practicality in that pair. So really, really good lineup. As you can probably tell from the way I've talked to them, it comes down to the calf or the bred heifer. I think they're both really good. Let's put our hands together for all these Braford female exhibitors. I'll show you my favorites.
Well, congratulations, Grand Champion Braford female here at the Cattlemen's Congress, going to Stanton Ranch with SR Miss Lady in Red 2104. And congratulations, your reserve champion Braford female, going to Madison Mize with RCM 7144 Willow 2686. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, congratulations to all of our Braford exhibitors. We will see you all back here at 4 o'clock for our American Supreme Drive.